Hello, everybody, and welcome to my first attempt at recording a podcast. I am your host, Hackett, and welcome to my brain, basically. Today, a thought occurred, and as per usual, whenever a thought occurs, I tend to post it online. Normally, generally, it is to my more immediate friends. I'll post it on my wall on Facebook, or I'll rant about it on Twitter, or whatever the fuck. But this time around, I figured, what the fuck? I might as well just post it somewhere. I really like talking. I really like lamb rambling, and I really like writing. And if somebody else wants to, hear it, then I guess that makes me really happy because it makes me feel less alone. Makes me feel a lot less alone when I see that whatever the view counter on my blog goes up. It makes me feel happy that people like stuff on Facebook. It really does make me feel less alone because it's confirmation that somebody is out there hearing what I have to say. And usually whenever a thought occurs, it's because I'm alone and I'm feeling alone. This time around is a slightly happy topic, though, or happy topic, sorry. It is about how video games saved my life. Now, it's a pretty dramatic statement to make, and I don't mean to say that I was ever in any danger of committing self-harm, and that video games actively saved me. It's more to say that video games saved my life because of how important they were to the formation of my character, the formation of who I am today. Where do we begin? Well, I guess we have to harken back to why it is that video games saved my life. So to put it into context, I have no friends. I'm a kid. I'm really young. I don't exactly remember. This must have been 2008, circa 2008, circa 2010. So probably I would like to say it was more than 10 years ago, but it might have been a little less. And I have no friends, right? The only friend I have in this school, because I'm going for, I think I was sent to this school for 6 months, and it's a very traditional school, and from day one, I knew that the people that went to that school didn't like me. They saw me and they were like, you don't belong here. You don't belong here. And they really didn't want me there. I remember being kicked in the floor while I was in the bathroom. I remember being laughed at, being thrown food at. I remember being punched. I remember a lot of things that are not very nice. So you're a kid and you're in your years of formation. You're finally a preteen, you're about to become a teenager, and a whole new world is about to come up. But when you're a kid and when you're at that stage of your life, every bit of interaction is important. Because sadly for all of us in junior high and in upper high school, social gatherings and social things, or the social aspect is a big part of it. That's what I'm trying to say. And so when you're in your formation years and you get shut out by society the way that I did, it doesn't help you, because by the time that you get into high school or you get into junior high or whatever, you're going to be pretty. First of all, you're not going to know how to talk to people. Second of all, you're going to be shy. And I was very shy. I remember I was not shy at all before I went to school. I was a happy super go. I was it's fucking dynamite, dude. I was a disaster. Then I come to this school, disaster in a good way, by the way. Then I go to this school and everything changes. I'm not liked by anyone. Everybody hates me, and I don't have friends. And I had no friends for a while. For a really long time, I just had no friends. And this was the second time around that I was in a school where I wasn't exactly the most popular kid. So all of that energy and all of that enthusiasm that I had for talking to people and for being social, I guess it just went away. It just suddenly it ceased to exist because I was getting shoved so hard in my head. There must have been something wrong with me. I must have been a bad kid. I mean, there was 90 other fucking retards. I probably shouldn't use that word like that. But if there was 90 other people there that said that you were something, then I mean, when you're a kid, you probably think that you are. And so, I'm hopeless. I cry every day because I feel so alone. I feel so alone. Until one day, my brother comes home and he brings this video game called World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is a multiplayer game, and for those of you who have never played video games or have never played this specific video game, it is a massive online playing game, which means it's a world. These people, they built a whole world with animals, with nature, with mountains, with the sea. It has continents. It's a completely new planet Earth per se. They call it Azeroth. And when I started playing this game, I was immediately enchanted by the idea of discovering everything that this world had. I knew I could press M on my keyboard and I could see that there was a map and it had 2 continents and that my character was 1 pixel of this gigantic map. And it was mine to explore. And back then, at least, the game, you could play that game almost however way you wanted to. But why is this game so important? Why is this game taking so much credit for literally saving my life? It's a bunch of different reasons, but mainly it is because this game is one of the very first sort of like really popular, like to a scale that way. It had like 10 million players at the time. It's a social game, right? So this game has 10 million players, and you need to play with other people in order to beat it, right? For you to be able to enjoy the content of this game, you have to play with other people. And so I'm here, like I'm here, I'm a kid, and I'm like, okay, this new character. My name is Yulak, and I'm a dwarf warrior, and I need to find other people though, because this dwarf warrior, he can't kill 100 little monsters on his own. He needs help from other people. And at this point, I'm really shy. I've been told for so long that like I was no one, that even talking to other players was kind of scary. It was really scary at the time, but I had to, because I had to beat the game. And I'm putting this, a lot of World of Warcraft players are going to cringe at what I'm saying right now, because you can't beat that game, but I'm putting it very schematically so that this is an understandable story. But I get picked up by this guild. Now, a guild in this game is a group of people, generally they're pretty big. Like, these guilds, they can have up to like, 150 members or something. I don't remember what the cap is at, but it's really high. You can have a lot of people in this guild, and these are all people that play together, and they beat the game together. And so I joined a guild. And now this is fantastic. Thinking about this now makes me so happy, because now that I'm basically 20 years old, I'm turning 20 in 17 days, as of the time of recording this. Now that I'm this old and I play video games and I play with kids, I really usually don't want them on my team. I don't want to play with them because they're kind of loud, and they might be pretty bad. They might be kind of bad. So I mean, looking at it now, I go like, I don't want to fucking play with kids. But these guys, I get picked up by this guild, and they know that I'm a kid because we were talking in this voice chat. We all use voice chats, and they know that I'm a kid. But they still pick me up, and they help my character get strong, and then so that I can beat the game. And they talk to me, man. These people, they became my friends. And it sounds bizarre. Maybe it's somebody that's never been in a medium like this. But I can claim that people that I met over 10 years ago, yeah, 10 years ago, they're more impactful in my life. Mind you, these people I met 10 years ago and they're online friends. They've been more impactful to my life than some people that I interacted with on a day-to-day basis for fucking years. And I mean, person to person. These people have taught me so much. And it's really bizarre to think about it because, I've never met these people. I've never seen them in real life. Yet I get home every day after school because, World of Warcraft was the reason that I now could go to school and I was motivated to do homework and stuff. Because if I didn't do my homework, I couldn't play World of Warcraft. So I had to do my homework, and I had now more than ever a reason to wake up in the morning. I had to beat this game, and I had to talk to my new fucking friends. And it's such a bizarre. I can't. There's not enough words in the 2.5 languages that I know how to speak to describe how bizarre it is to 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 feel this way. But I grew up with these people, man. They taught me so much. I keep repeating that, but it's because I have to really emphasize on how important these people were in the formation of my character. Suddenly, there was a girl in this guild, I remember. And I had the courage, because I was already a better player than her. She must have been 20 or something. I still remember her name. And but I was better than this girl at this game. And so that made me, in this world I was not the guy that gets kicked in the bathroom. In this world I was Ulak, and I had this much I was this high up in the ladder, and I had this many achievements, and so I had confidence. I certainly started building confidence. These little achievements, these little items that what I was getting in a virtual world were suddenly a reason for me to feel proud about who I was, about my character, about and more so it gave me a reason to not feel scared when talking to another person. So I talked to this girl in this guild, and I remember this movie will stick to me for the rest of my life because I had a conversation with her. It was just her and I playing, and I was helping her out in the voice chat of this guild, and I was helping her out get stronger. And it was just her and me, and we were talking about school, and I was sharing my experiences about, how shittily I was treated in school. I remember feeling very offended because she asked me if I was fat, because, that's probably, like, a very childish kind of, like, thing to laugh at. And she was worried that I was fat and that I was getting bullied. And she was telling me that that would change when I grew, especially if I did any sports. But I had this conversation with her, and I impressed her. She told me, "Oh, you're a very smart little kid." And those words, they gave me so much confidence. Because if I could talk to this girl, I could talk to anyone. So then I started showing up to school, and I had been playing World of Warcraft. Just put in context, I'm bullied first school, go to second school, don't get bullied, go to third school, get bullied, kind of thing. And it was in second school that I was being bullied, that I had to sort of rethink the way that I dealt with social scenarios, and this game helped me do that. This game, suddenly I've never walked straight. I always had shitty posture, but I felt big. I was walking into school. I felt big after I talked to this girl. And I just walk, and they laugh at me or whatever, and I just don't care anymore. I don't care. Back to, like, fuck it. If they're hating on me, might as well. I'm doing something right, I think. Okay, where am I going with this? So video games. They saved my life, or World of Warcraft saved my life because they were a tool that a kid that was shoved out by society needed for him to get into society, It's like when people complain about getting a job, It's like, okay, so I want to get a job at this, but to get this job, it says I need to have experience. But how am I going to get experience at doing this if you're not going to hire me because I don't have experience, right? And it's the same thing here. It's like, okay, so I want to talk to people. People think I'm weird, and I want to stop being weird because you know what? Like, well, how can you judge me by my cover? How can you judge me by the way I dress? Like, you, or my music taste or whatever. Like, you have to talk to me, man. But how are you gonna stop? Like, change your perspective on me if you don't let me talk to you? Um, and so I would have never, without World of Warcraft, I would have never been the person that I am today. And today I'd like to say, I'm gonna like brag a little, but I'd like to say that I'm well off socially. You know, I have a lot of friends, and I think a lot of people care about. At least I think a lot of people care about me, and you know, I've had a couple of great girlfriends in the past, and sadly those relationships are gone. But I attribute them to World of Warcraft. I attribute them because World of Warcraft gave me friends. It gave me somebody to talk to. It gave me motivation. And it taught me a lot more things too. The game was so very complex. I think especially adults. You know, I have a couple of news headlines right now that are written by these guys, and they're probably like in their 40s, and yes, they played a video game or two in their life, but they don't understand how complex they've become and how great they are as learning tools for kids. So this article says, like, could video games have been a factor in Florida shooting? No, video games to fucking make you dangerous. You know, I remember when I was a kid, it was a fucking taboo to tell your, like, if you were a parent, and you know, if my parents told my friends' parents that I played video games, they wouldn't. The parents would tell their kids not to talk to me, because you know the American media had like demonized video games to be like, you know, if you played Grand Theft Auto, you are a fucking school shooter in the making, when it's not the case, you know, because World of Warcraft became a reason for me to learn math. The game has an economy, so it's a player-based economy, which means that the game has its currency, its own little currency. It's called gold, because the game is set in like whatever sort of medieval-ish times, and the game has gold, and you can use this gold to buy, or you can even buy items, or you can sell items to make gold. And you get these items by working. So the game has professions, right? So you're a leather worker, you make leather things. So you need so you need leather pieces to for you to be an effective leather worker. So there's a whole market. There's like the primary industry, where it's like the guys that go out and they kill the animals and they skin them, and then they put this in the auction house, or what would be like the store. This would be like the store of World of Warcraft, in the player store. They put it in the player store so that the leather worker can buy it and he can make his own leather. And you know, these prices, this auction house, this player-based economy is entirely based on supply and demand. It's so suddenly, you know, there's a new piece of gear that like engineers make, and it's really really good. It's really really good, and it makes your character so much better. And now there's demand for it, so you can be the guy that puts up the price, because you're the only engineer that does this, right? I'm putting this for World of Warcraft players. This is very schematic, so this is just to make this more understanding for a broader audience. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that there is professions in this game, and you can sell things. And this became a reason for me to start doing good at math. I wanted to understand how the market worked, and I wanted to understand how I could manipulate this market to get richer. So therefore, I got fucking good at math, right? I learned how to talk to people, and I got good at math just because I was playing this one game. And this is one game out of the hundreds. I have a literal stack of 100 video games down here. You know, I'm sitting on a desk that has 100 video games on its like sides. And you know, right now I'm playing on this 3-monitor beast of a computer where I have 50 other fucking games, and I sadly don't play that many video games anymore, but I can recognize that they were very fucking important to my upbringing. They taught me math, they taught me how to talk to people, and they taught me how to be a team worker, you know? I still like to claim that I don't play well with others and shit like this, but like honestly, I think I'm a pretty good fucking teammate. And you know, because you had to be a good teammate in order for you to get invited again, because you wanted to beat the game, right? You want to get invited, so therefore you have to be a nice human being, and you have to treat others nice, and you also have to you know, do what you have to do. So to say that playing World of Warcraft has helped me do school group work is an understatement. There's a reason why I can do schoolwork. That's a reason why I don't have an anxiety attack when I talk to another person. It didn't make me violent. I'm not a violent human being. You know, you might look at me and like I'm wearing a Pink Floyd T-shirt and like rings and you might be like, okay, so this guy maybe you don't wanna talk to. But like, I'm not an asshole. I'm not violent. I've never hit anyone. You know, I've had one fight in my life, and that was out of self-defense. And I did karate for a while as well. But I had one fight in my life that was out of self-defense, and it ended as quickly as it started because I didn't want to hurt anybody. You know? I'm not. I played Call of Duty my entire life, and I am not a violent kid. I'm a regular, good old guy that is only a member of society because I got to play video games. Video games are so complex now that an adult should really, like, if your kid plays video games, you should really play them. You give them a try, play a game with him, and see if you can understand it yourself. You know, video games are motivators for kids. They are a social hub. They are a subject to talk about when they're in school. They're something to work for when they're in school. They're so good. Of course, everything is bad if you're not balanced, you know? If you're playing video games 12 hours a day and you're neglecting your girlfriend, which happened to me is a reason why I lost one of my girlfriends, or if you're neglecting school or whatever, yes, you do have to put a stop to it, but that's like with anything, you know? I've wasted so much time. I've wasted so much time playing guitar, or not wasted, because I mean it's time that I've enjoyed. But I've used so much time playing guitar that I've left a lot of things unchecked, and you know that's unbalanced. As harmless as you think something like guitar playing is, it can be harmful. Yes, like video games can be harmful because you can invest too much into them, and suddenly that's not balanced. That's not healthy. But when it's kept in balance, they're such amazing tools. And this brings me to like my next point, which is like, you know what, when in the old days when you had to, you know, you lived in a town and the outskirts of the city and you had to go back to the city to work, you know, when newspapers were fucking introduced, right? People used to talk in the trains, or they probably used to talk in their rides or when they were walking or whatever, and then the newspaper was introduced and people didn't talk anymore. This wasn't necessarily bad. It's the same complaint that parents have today. It's like kids are like this on their phones all day. This isn't bad. It's just a different form of communication that you don't understand. But it's not bad. It's actually amazing. It's evolution, you know. We just learned about supply and demand. And the market has adapted, you know, smartphones, social media, all of these things have adapted to the demand for closure. It may not be skin-to-skin contact, but people are closer today than they've ever been because of the fact that with the click of a button I can call up my friend. Because of the fact that social media exists, I'm connected with these guys that I played WoW with. You know, I played 10 years ago. These guys, they were in college when they started playing. They were in high school when they started playing with me. I think when I met like the more important ones, I was getting into junior high, I think. And these people, man, they're getting married today. They have companies. They have kids, and I've seen all of that. I've never met them in my life, but I can see all of that to Facebook. They're here, and it's a different sort of type of communication, but it's still communication. And so when I see this age-old debate of, you know, video games making you violent or whatever, like, I get so bloody fucking surprised. Like, recently there's this big game right now, it's called Fortnite. Everybody and their mother is playing goddamn Fortnite, right? And it's a hateful game. I hate it. I hate its community. But, you know what, like, my ex-girlfriend's little brother was really fucking into it, and you know, his friends, his friends and the things that he talks about, they're all based. You know, the kid built a computer. Okay, he built a computer because he wanted to play games. I'm a computer builder myself. I've been building computers for a few years. Um, and now to somebody that's never done this, it probably sounds really complicated, but let me tell you, it's kind of it's like building Lego for grown-ups. But it's still not easy enough for me to expect an 11-year-old kid to be doing it. And this kid, he researched the parts for his computer, he budgeted it, and I think he worked for it a little bit. But video games were the main motivator for this kid to learn how to build computers. How many people do you know you can give parts to a computer and they can build it on the spot? I don't know that many people that can do it. I think, but I have okay. I know a lot of people that can do it, but I think I'm a special case where it's like that was what I was interested in, and therefore the people around me. I looked for people around me that were interested in the same thing. But I don't think most people can say that they know somebody that builds computers like for a hobby or whatever. And I think it was all born out of a video game. This kid learned to build computers out of a fucking video game. It didn't make him violent. It didn't, it didn't it didn't do jack for him other than good. It didn't do jack bad. It only did a lot of good. And fuck. I'm getting pretty rambly, I'm sorry. I don't actually know how long we've been on this. We've been 26 minutes. I wanted to make it half an hour, so let's just spend the last 4 minutes sort of concluding on why it is that I'm making such a big claim. You can say that maybe at some point something else might have happened in my life that would have given me the confidence to start talking to people. And maybe video games was only a way, but that's what happened. I started playing video games and my life did a 180. I suddenly wasn't bullied anymore, and I suddenly had confidence. I was worth it. And I don't think it could have been any other way, because video games have become such a universal law at this point. Everybody plays video games or has played video games at some point in their life. So it's just another reason why to connect. It made it easier for me to connect with other people, because suddenly we were, we might have not liked the same music. Because okay, let's think about what things people connect through. People connect through favorite foods, they connect through movies, they connect through books, maybe a specific hobby, like music related or otherwise. There's only a finite amount of things that we can relate to each other with, right? And video games is one of them. And because it is such a universal law that everybody has played video games, there were suddenly a lot more people that I could talk to. Because it's one more topic of conversation. Do you play World of Warcraft? Do you play League of Legends? Did you play Call of Duty when you were a kid? Oh yeah, I fucking did. I was sick at it, and boom, a friendship was born. Or heck, like a career was born. Fucking esports players, right? They're like the new hot celebrity. They're the new kid on the block when it comes to celebrities. We had YouTubers pretty recently. That's what, they can't be more than 10, 11 years old that YouTubers are like accepted as celebrities. And now we have the gamer. We have the professional gamer. So it's a career, it's a topic of conversation, it's something that a lot of people, most people I know can identify with. It's something that helped me, that was motivation for me to learn a lot of, to branch out and explore my horizons. It introduced music to me, and it made a lot of other fucking jobs. It made a lot of fucking jobs. It made a lot of because there's content creators, there's video game designers. It has only done so much good, for society, right? It has only done good. I cannot fucking see it having done bad. And here I am. This is the second I look. Video games and news is the most negative headlines that I've seen in news. That's not related to Trump. Like, this is insane. This is crazy. They're. Okay, this is a good one. Video games are such an underrated form of art. The amount of work that goes into creating worlds, into creating the characters, the way the swords look, the way the music works, the story, all of this shit has only done good. The heroes in the stories and the campaigns of the war games that I play have only taught me good morals. Defend the little guy. Save the world. We might have to kill a couple people on the way, but you know what? The end justifies the means in this case because we're saving the world. It's not something minor that's at stake. It's the video games world that's at stake, and that has taught me morals. It has taught me good things. And I don't know why I connected this to the negative connotation. I kind of rambled, and I hope that it turned out okay, and I think it did. But just to conclude real quick, I think it's just you have to ask yourself if you think video games are bad. You have to ask yourself why. Like, try to really reason with yourself and argue. Argue to yourself, what is there that's bad in gaming, Because here I am, and I'm telling you that video games made such a big difference in my existence, and it made me so much happier. I wouldn't be the person that I am today if it wasn't because of them. So why am I seeing all of these negative articles online? They have no reason to exist. The fact that the Columbine kids were playing Doom when before they did that horrible tragedy is not like a solid proof. It's not even an argument, because there's so many people that play video games, man, that like I would be surprised if somebody that did something bad didn't play a video game, There's a cute saying that says use statistics. Like a drunk man uses a lamppost. Not for illumination, but for support. And I think with that I'll conclude my little rant. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was pretty headless. It was kind of like a headless chicken running around before getting its feathers plucked. But I got to share my story, and I got to share about how I was bullied and how video games made a difference in all of this. And I also got to give my opinion on the art form, this underrated art form that gets bashed on constantly by the media for whatever fucking reason. Because, I believe our 2 cents, the people that feel the same way that I do, we should all give our 2 cents. We should be the ones that are writing these kind of articles, but articles that show this art form in a good light. But anyway, I was Juan, or Hackett, I don't actually know what name I'm using for this, but this was the first episode of my podcast. If you have any name suggestions, please comment them down below. I would really like some suggestions, because I don't know, I don't really know if, I don't have any fucking idea how to name it. Also, give me suggestions on the layout and stuff. I don't have quite the best camera available, so that this is all you're getting from me. If you don't like the camera at all, I can get rid of it. Just give me suggestions how to improve on this, and I promise that by the next episode I'll have a script and we'll have something to talk about within music, art, video game, fucking computers, yes, anything. And if you're interested in it, click on it, and I hope that I am a good background noise. See ya.